Hey guys, welcome to After Hours Investing. Oh fuck. Hey guys, welcome to After Hours Investing. My name's Chris.
And my name's Michael.
We're here to give you a market update on today's news.
Yeah, dude. I mean, shit. We can't make waves, but we know how to fucking ride them. So let's
Yeah,
get started.
and thanks for tuning in, guys. And let's get right to it.
Fuck yeah. So first things first, we want to build good habits, and a good habit is always looking at the state of the economy. Like we said yesterday, inflation is high, and thus the interest rate is high to combat that. So we're gonna see a little bit of a reduction in spending, but as we can see in the stock market when we get to it, it hasn't really been too problematic, and we haven't really seen a lot of push back and by pushback I mean push down in reality. Um, we're still living in a world of greed right now. It's actually gotten greedier according to the greed index, and as Warren Buffett says, when people are greedy, you should be fearful, and when people are fearful, you should be greedy. Now, that's not to say that you can't be a little bit greedy right now, because if everyone's greedy right now, maybe they know something we don't. Who knows? Um, Something important to note is tomorrow is our Fed interest rate decision. That's when they're going to set the monetary policy. Like I said, the fancy word for interest. And we expect a 0.25% rate hike. And since that's what we expect, if that's what happens, I don't think we'll see a lot of negatives in terms of the stock market because no one's going to be caught off guard. We expect them to raise it 0.25%. So if they raise it 0.25%, I think people are going to keep the stock market steady. That being said, if they happen to blindside us and bring it up to a 0.5, that's going to bring it to a 5% overall interest. And I mean, at that point, toss your shit in a bank account, bro, because stock market's over. You might as well just reap some benefits from the bank. I'm kidding. This is not financial advice. We just want to report on the information, and this is the information we got. Data is important. It makes you make educated decisions. History has shown that you know, if if you don't know the data, you're gonna fucking repeat your mistakes. Um, Chris, you wanted to talk about some tweets?
Yeah, so before we get into the charts, there is some tweets that came after hours. As we like to do after hours investing, we do like to do our after hours research. Now, if you look at Inverse Kramer ETF, their tweet, Jim Cramer says we're in a bull market, so buy on the dip. This you so as you guys know, Jim Cramer is infamous on his picks, and most of the time, um, they'll lead just to portfolio just leaking red, and it is quite crazy because right before that we got a tweet from Michael Burry, and his tweet just said sell. And if you just click on his profile, you can see that all of his tweets have been deleted. And what we got yesterday from a tweet that just said maybe, and then we had a chart. That chart was the 2001 to 2003 bubble. So if he's saying, I believe if he's saying sell, he's telling you to sell your stocks. This is not financial advice. None of this is financial advice. These are just trading ideas, and you're responsible for the trades you make. And this is a good point that Burry thinks we're heading to more downside pain. In terms of the federal interest rate decision coming tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern, it looks like with that forecast that the industry is expecting, Wall Street is expecting a 0.25 move. Um, Whether we get a 2.5 move or not, we could see this rally top out and then maybe pull back a bit and then head for new highs as we speculate on CPI. But if we do get a point 0.5 tomorrow, that could spell chaos in the markets, and we could see a lot of red coming in. Um, the thing I like to point out though is with the point 0.5 rate interest hike, it means that we could potentially sell off pretty quickly from these highs. So if we do get a continuation into tomorrow, so if we see more green, because today, if you look at the charts on SPY, today we did have a green day. It was a pretty aggressive green day. We basically traced all of Friday's gains, almost all of Friday's gains back from yesterday's red day. And this is not financial advice, but I think we'll hit maybe 410 before we get uh the announcement of what interest rate decision we'll get, either if it's a 0.25 or point 0.5 rate hike. And with that rate hike, it basically, ladies and gentlemen, it just basically says if we're gonna continue this bull market or if we're gonna continue this selling, yeah, or if we're gonna enter into a new bear market. Um, so what do you think, Michael?
I think that I need to get rid of this fucking trend line because it just makes absolutely no sense. To be honest, I'm still working on that. But to be honest, yeah, I kind of agree with you because we've been seeing a lot of push or a lot of pull, I'll say, since we're going up in the market right now. It seems like uh the investor sentiment is they want us to go higher. Um but like we said, the interest rate is going to be revealed tomorrow, and that's when either all hell breaks loose or the heaven gates open. So we're really gonna have to keep an eye on that and make sure. Chris, am I sharing my screen with you, by the way?
Yeah, you are. You
Roger. All right, good to know. Um, that being said, let's look at these stocks we had an eye on yesterday. I mentioned ExxonMobil is thriving because of the war. Who doesn't love you know, profiting off of murder. But it's looking like it they're not really gonna find. I could see the entire market crashing. I could see ExxonMobil just being uh, the Jesus and rising from the ashes. Um, if this is like, let's say hypothetically the Federal Reserve raises it point 0.5 and everybody goes into hell mode. I don't think we're gonna see that reflected on ExxonMobil. Um, Now, of course, this isn't financial advice. I'm just putting on my financial advice voice. It's up to you to really determine what you see here. I've got my lines of support and resistance. I just kind of tossed it in there. To be honest, um, I'm really just looking at the news and what they provide because at the end of the day, the stock market is based on public perception. And public perception, I would imagine, is that if these guys are selling fucking oil and oil is more expensive, then they're probably a good investment. So, China, as we can see, we mentioned yesterday that Chris brought up that COVID restrictions are finally gone on China, so we're going to see their economy starting to make a recovery, and that's being reflected here today. And frankly, the world economy works together. Thank you, TradingView, for these advertisements. I love it. We're sponsored by TradingView now, actually. That being said, the world economy works together, and if we see China making a great recovery, I'm thinking it's going to be reflected overall. This is just a long term play, of course. We just like to report on the facts. And finally, on our second or our third, my bad, long term play, Pacific Gas and Electric. I saw earlier today it was actually under, but it looks like in the aftermarket they've managed to recover. And I mean, everyone's always going to need gas. Everyone needs electricity. If water becomes $100 a bottle tomorrow, people are still going to pay $100 for water. I think the same goes for gas and electricity. As we've seen, gas was such a fucking high number, and we had morons that were going and getting filling up at $7 a gallon, even though across the street it was $5. So it's really and I use morons lightly. I'm not here to judge stupidity. I don't I have a little bit of it myself. But God, it was so dumb. Anyway, Chris, you want to talk about our quote unquote meme stocks, our short squeezes? You got any ideas you want to share?
Yeah, so with our meme stocks right now, they're looking pretty stale to me. Unless we get a continuation of what we had today for tomorrow, I could see these potentially moving up. I'm not too sure about AMC. I think AMC is kind of dead in the water, but um, as much as the squeeze has happened already, I don't really see the momentum continuing. Although I do have my eyes on Lucid, because I do think Lucid is currently set up for real momentum. I think the momentum is shifting right now, and we do ride waves, and um, and I think this is going to be a good day trade opportunity for tomorrow.
I agree. I mean, we've got some big players moving in. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but the Lucid stock went up because of speculation that Saudi Arabia, those guys are princes and royalty. Their public fund was going to invest in Lucid. We have a big player entering the water. It's going to make some waves, and we want to ride those waves. Peculiar enough, I actually see right here in our headlines for AMC that they're selling a $30 million stake to Saudi Cinema Joint. I've not done my research on this. I'm seeing this when you're all seeing this right now. I'm honest. It's 13 hours ago. I'm a little embarrassed that I didn't check this out, but I do find it a little interesting that the Saudi Arabia public trust, they're starting to invest in us. I'm curious what they see. And you mentioned something about Bed Bath and Beyond, maybe having the potential of going bankrupt.
Yeah, they did mention bankruptcy all the way into $1 lows, and as you can see, we just skyrocketed. Um, Maybe that was the trade that Wall Street was preventing us from getting in, because obviously it rocketed and Wall Street Bets was all over it. And right now, I don't really see another short squeeze happening. I think this is just going to trickle off gains as we go, and we might just go back down to $1. I don't really see this reviving itself as of now. But I could always be wrong. I'd be I wouldn't have this like necessarily on a watchful eye. Right now I just have my eyes on if Lucid makes a move. And if we get a retracement up to $17 or $20 by tomorrow, I think that will be the best day trading opportunity. Obviously, if the volume isn't there, then you 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 don't really want to get in it. If the volume's there tomorrow, then by all means, to the moon.
Ooh, ooh, ah, ah, my friend. And what do you think about GameStop?
GameStop,
People
right now,
just
it does
love
look like
GameStop
it
all
has
of a
a higher
sudden.
low. Um, Yeah, I like this chart. I like this chart. As long as we continue, um, like what we had for today, like a continuation of green.
Yeah, I mean, we're
Uh,
seeing some push right here. Like they drop up, it breaks right here, stops, and then hits
yep.
again, drops down, and now they broke this actually this point of resistance. I'm gonna go ahead and plot that.
Yeah, we are above the 200 MA, and we have made a higher low, and this is a higher high. So if we do get continuation tomorrow, I think we can maybe squeeze $2 more. That would be my conservative view. on how much squeeze potential we have.
Yeah, honestly, I agree with you. I mean, we're seeing this is a great stride here, and it looks like at least in the terms of as of a month, it's looking a little undervalued. So maybe maybe we'll see GameStop make some rises right here. Maybe this is a wave to catch. This isn't something to keep an eye on. We see the powerhouses are doing good, but that's just reflected in SPY going up. You mentioned that to me because I got sometimes I have my ape goggles on and I just see moon, moon. But
Yeah, if you guys want us to cover any other stocks, you guys are more than welcome to leave a comment.
please, by all
Um,
means,
yeah, you guys, just let us know what you think we are not looking at, what we should have our eyes on. Obviously, Tesla, Microsoft, Apple, we'll have a video on those pretty soon. I think Tesla right now is in a very, very nice spot. Um, for a potential downside, in my opinion. There's no real, um, other than shorts being squeezed here, there's
and
no
their
real.
earnings was a little bit interesting because even though
Yeah,
they
yeah.
met their earnings, if you look at their net change in cash, you know what? I'll pull up my Microsoft Windows right here, or my sorry, I'm gonna pull up my Windows. I'm gonna pull up my Microsoft Edge here. We can pull up Tesla earnings. You'll actually see that net change in cash. This is the cash they have on hand. Let's say if they want to pay off debt or build some new buildings. I mean, they're down $3 billion in this quarter, which means Elon's just been spending, and I assume that has to do with him, reducing the profit, increasing the profit margin. My apologies. Basically making it more efficient to make Teslas, but still selling it at the same amount. So he's reaping more profits, but really time could tell because he's got to make this money back. Um, so
Yeah,
we'll
we'll have
see.
a full in-depth video on Tesla pretty soon. I think it's an interesting stock right now. In my opinion, there's not too much to warrant this upside. It's basically doubled. It just looks like a BBY to me in terms of the short squeeze. In terms of the company, long term, I do think Tesla is the king of EV currently, and obviously he's making strides in the EV markets, and it's a brand that people trust, and it's basically a
I mean,
car,
my mom's got a Tesla, and that shit's amazing. God damn,
Yeah.
dude. 400 miles on one charge, $16 to fully charge it. Ah, it's a Model S though. I'm sorry. I'm sounding like an elite. I'm sounding like an elite right now. My bad.
Yeah. And they did what was interesting too though, in Q4 they did hold on to their Bitcoin, but since they reported for December Q4, and all what happened there, they could still sell between now and until Q1 of Tesla's earnings. So I mean, if they knew something was going to happen in the crypto markets and they held specifically to this bull run, and if we are gonna see a downside move like Barry foresees and Jim Cramer basically says we're still in a bull market. If you didn't buy the dip, I mean, you're not gonna make money. I mean,
And we don't
that's what
trust Jim
that's
Cramer.
what our that's what Jimmy Boy believes. I mean,
Jimster.
if Jimmy Boy, if he thinks we're gonna go to the moon,
I mean,
uh,
shit, then we're gonna go to hell.
obviously we might be missing something. So,
Yeah, maybe
um,
Jim's on like a long-term play. He's been playing like the fucking long haul this whole time.
yeah, maybe just Jim knows something we don't, and he's just, he's egging us on, and he wants to see us win in actuality. Um,
Who knows? Jim Cramer could be the hero we don't deserve. But only time will tell. Uh,
One other thing, I wanted to see the Bitcoin chart so just people know what we're at right now.
you know, we can gloss over. We're getting a little bit long here, but I think we can check out just real quick here. So Bitcoin has been going up. You know, the thing about Bitcoin, and you know, I was talking to Chris about this earlier. I'm very passionate about cryptocurrency. You know, I mean, I don't want to just regurgitate what everyone's saying about that it's the future and blah blah blah. But if we're looking at, uh, you know, if we look at stocks and we look at crypto as public perception, and what's the narrative on crypto is that I mean, most of the time people will say it's unreliable, but this is supposed to be the future currency, right? And if we're going to live in a future of decentralized finance, Bitcoin and Ethereum are going to be at the helm of that. And so wholeheartedly believe in these cryptocurrencies because at the end of the day, it was invented as a way for, you know, as like a future. You know, gold, people buy gold because their money might get less valuable, and gold is you know, a resource that's going to run out eventually, so it's a good resource to hold on to, if you want to keep value. Well, I see cryptocurrency as the same thing, except that it is way easier to buy cryptocurrency than it is to buy gold, because if I want to buy gold, I have to buy the whole piece of gold. I have to buy that whole piece of jewelry. But when it comes to cryptocurrency, I can own a fraction of Bitcoin. If I only have $50, I can put $50 into Bitcoin and I will get returns on that. And I think that low barrier to entry is what's going to increase volume in the coming years. And we're going to see, I think, personally, a switch from the stock market onto cryptocurrency with, you know, this younger generation. You know, I'm part of the younger generation myself. I'm only 21, and you know, this is we're very in touch with the news, and we're not really about you know, the quote unquote old heads. So I think cryptocurrency is something to look at, and Bitcoin, Ethereum, and of course, if you're going to invest in Ethereum, I am not advising financially, but you know, uh, do your own rational thought, and you know, you can see that you will get higher gains. You know, if we look at the percentages you can get. Actually, right here, Ethereum went. No, it didn't even though this is a higher movement on Ethereum, it's still only 10% compared to this small move giving you what, 12%. So even when Ethereum moves higher than Ethereum Classic, you see bigger gains from it. So that's something to keep in mind, people. Any
So
concluding thoughts?
yeah, so just be watchful tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern time is your just be prepared around that time. Um, I'm expecting a lot of volatility and Jerome Powell's outlook on the future for interest rates. I think this is going to be the last point 0.5 rate increase for this year. I don't. If he does do a point 0.5, I think this will be the last point 0.5 he will do. I think he will either continue into March with a point 0.25 and then most likely pause after that and tame inflation rate hikes for the rest of the year. And then 2024 is going to be a whole different enchilada, but that's just my view as of now. Thanks for watching, guys, and thanks for tuning in.
Penis.